Hello, today we're going to go over how to create workflows in Cyberdesk. So we're going to assume Cyberdriver has already been installed on this desktop. I'll attach information about installing Cyberdriver in the description of this video. And now that it's connected, we can just set up the workflow and trigger it to run on the machine. So I'm creating a new workflow here. We're creating an appointment in Open Dental. It's a desktop application for dental clinics, and I have a local download of that with some dummy data. So all I've done so far was I've attached a video recording of the task describing what I'm doing as I'm doing it in the recording, and I've thrown it to our cyber agent here, and it's produced the prompt for how to complete the task from my video. So it's generally a really strong starting point. You want to give it a quick little parse to make sure everything looks good. So far, it looks good to me. We'll go ahead and run it. If there's anything slightly off in its execution, we can come back and always tweak it. And there's a good variety of models to select from with different strengths and weaknesses. For this one, I think Sonnet 4.5 is a great fit. And we just have to verify this input schema that we're going to use. So we're going to go ahead and just use this input schema that's recommended. I think it covers all of the inputs that we wanted to use. Wonderful. So output schema looks good. So these are just failure modes. In case anything goes wrong in the workflow, it'll be outputted as a Boolean. So you're notified programmatically. Finally, post-run checks. We're just going to validate against the output schema for now. We can otherwise have the agent take screenshots of its work after it's done, and then that work is independently verified by another agent after the workflow is completed. We haven't added that in this workflow. We're just going to focus on creating a workflow and getting it production ready. So let's go ahead and create this workflow. Awesome. Now that it's been created, we can go ahead and run it. So let's do that. So by clicking run workflow here, we just have to enter the information. So I'm just going to copy it from my notes that I have on the side here. Awesome. So patient name is Zarin Bob. Just going to have some arbitrary times here. We're inputting basically the times the patient showed up to its appointment and what time you left it and all that. So we're going to have the agent input this to create an appointment entry. This is a procedure code, something that just attaches to the appointment. Wonderful. So we want it to specifically run on this machine that I'm going to show you the run on, and we're going to execute it. So this is the first time the agent ever sees and does this workflow. So it's going to learn the steps one at a time. So as you can see, it's doing it here, and it's doing the steps one at a time based off of the prompt. So we can see here, it's doing all these steps. These are the logs from the Cyberdesk platform. Awesome. And I'm going to speed the rest of this up, and I'll meet you on the other side once the agent is done with workflow. Awesome. So as you can see, the agent completed the task successfully and quite cleanly from the first shot, which is pretty exciting. I'll also attach the recording of how I explained the task to the agent, which is pretty simple and straightforward in this video. So you can take a look and see what information I gave to the agent to produce this amazing prompt so you can complete this task successfully. So here we have all the logs all the way through, 3 minutes and 45 seconds. So now that this is a successful run, we can generate a trajectory out of this run. What this means is all of these steps that it's completed have been memorized, with the exception of dynamic steps, which we call focused actions. And these dynamic steps are things that the agent can't memorize because it shouldn't memorize where it clicked to select the patient. That should be a dynamic step in the process. So every time it goes to the step where it has to actually select a patient name from the list, it's going to invoke this mini agent in the run. And I think there's another example of this in the same workflow where it has to select the results of the procedures after it searches for the procedure by code. It has to select it from the list. We also assign this to a focused action agent. Otherwise, everything else is fair game. Everything else we can reuse because it's just repetitive, same old steps. In the case of typing in an input parameter, we're always going to be typing it in this box. So the only thing that's going to change is the parameter. So we just give it the variable. We don't have to have an agent dynamically figure this part out. So I'm just going to go ahead and just switch some of these cache sections off, and we'll go over what those do in a minute. I'll be right back in one quick moment. So all I did was remove the cache detections from some of these steps. We don't need them at every single step, and I'll explain why that is as we rerun this workflow. So we approved this trajectory for use. So next time the agent runs, it's going to go off of this trajectory, which is very exciting. We don't have to recompute everything from scratch. So last time, what it took us, how long did it take us last time we ran this? 3 minutes, 45 seconds. Let's see how fast it'll go this time. And let's switch it up. We'll put in some different input parameters, a different patient here, time to arrive. We'll say the same times. That's inconsequential, but different codes and different patient names will spice things up. So let's use this. Okay, cool. Get some variability in there. We'll use the same machine. So cool. Let's see what the agent does now going off of memory. Awesome. So right now it's off to the races. First step of the process is pressing the command key, which is the equivalent of the Windows key, to verify the conditions are the same. Awesome. I can proceed with pressing the command key. Over here, once I type in Open Dental, let's verify that the conditions are the same. So you can type in Open Dental to search for it in the Windows menu, as it did. And cool. As for every new page, it's verifying whether the expected screen actually matches the reality. So this on the right is the reality, and on the left is the screen it saw last time it completed this task successfully, according to the trajectory. So as you can see, it's going through the steps here. Now it's going to invoke a focused action because we're going to select a dynamic patient, a different patient every time. So it's invoked a focused agent, and it's took a couple seconds here to identify the patient that we want, John Smith, and double-clicked on it. So once it's double-clicked on it, awesome, then it goes back to the trajectory, goes back to making things dynamic now. So once again, it's verifying the screen before it proceeds with any new step. So over here, we have to enter multiple fields. We only need to verify the right screen once. So once we verified we're on this screen, we can really just go through all the steps on this screen without cache detections in between them. So that's why we've only checked it once, and I switched off the cache detection for the rest of the steps on the screen, which involves filling in the rest of the fields. So that's what I spent some time doing, just making sure those are switched off so they can just go much quicker. Because cache detection sometimes takes a couple seconds if you don't need it. So we can always save those few seconds. Awesome. So now it's searching for the procedure to add to the appointment. Cool. So it selected it, chugging along, added it, and now it's setting screenshot as attachment. It's kind of documented everything it's done. It entered all the information, select the procedure. This is a screenshot that we can use later as a post-run check. Once we create a post-run check to check the screenshot to make sure the agent entered all the information correctly. Wonderful. So completed the task all the way through in 1 minute and 37 seconds. So that's 2 minutes and 8 seconds faster. Wonderful. Very exciting stuff. So that's how it works. And if anything unexpected happens, let's actually do that. Let's see what would happen if anything unexpected were to occur. So now let's rerun the workflow and see what would happen if something unexpected happens on the screen where it doesn't match the expected screen based on the trajectory. So we just restarted it. The agent is well on its way to completing the task. So as you can see here, it's pulled this up and it's about to select the patient. Just going through the usual. And at some point here, I'm going to sabotage the agent by throwing something in its way. So little does it know, it's seeing all the screens it's expecting. Now I'm going to throw it at random Chrome in the middle of the screen and see what happens to the thought process. Cool. Well, when it tries to check that, am I at the right screen, it sees that, no, it's seeing this instead of seeing what it's supposed to be seeing. What this will trigger is the recovery agent. And what this recovery agent will do is it's going to analyze, okay, can I recover the state of the screen to the expected state so I can continue with the rest of the task? If not, I'm just going to complete the rest of the task agentically. So this is the recovery of the workflow. If anything goes wrong, it realized, okay, let me switch tabs. It noticed that Open Dental is open. I'm just at the wrong window. So it actually went back to Open Dental and proceeded with the rest of the task as per the trajectory. Wonderful. So that's sure enough, just doing the rest of the task as usual. Everything else matches. No weird, crazy discrepancies or pop-ups like a random Chrome window. And sure enough, it's done. Just made it back. Now it's going to close it out. Okay, just verifying the last screen. I'm just going to close it. Cool, closed open dental. So that sums up in 2 minutes 7 seconds. Last time it was 1 minute and 37 seconds. So it took another 30 seconds here to do this recovery process where it saw a discrepancy. So this is how we build a workflow. This is how we get a trajectory up and running. And this is how recovery works when something goes wrong in a workflow.